up? What's up? It's your girl Donna LJ.
And it's your girl Tay Digga.
And you're tuned into Indie High Radio. What's up, everybody?
Thank y'all so much for tuning in. You're tuning to another great episode of Indie High Radio.
Yes. And we always have a great show in store for you. We do want to remind you about Indie High Saturdays, the last Saturday of every month. You know, we're going to turn up. We're going to have fun. It's going to be networking. It's going to be live performances, good vibes, good energy. And speaking of those live performances, our guest today definitely has blessed the Indie High Saturday stage.
Yes.
And we are so excited about that. And it would be blessing it again.
For what? For you already know how we do for April Indie High Saturdays.
Okay.
You know how she tried to brush it away a little bit, but I'm gonna bring it back. But for Donna LJ's birthday, you know how we get down. Okay. So you know it's always a celebration, and we had to run Mr. Phil back.
Yep.
To come perform for Indie High Saturdays on April 26th for the celebration of Donna LJ's birthday. So we are excited about that.
Yes.
So go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yes, please.
For sure. What's up, people? What's up, Indie High Life? It's Phil Nash right here. Producer, rapper, director, filmographer, all of that.
All right.
A lot of arts, man. I'm going to have a museum someday. So, you know, just for the arts, we're going to preserve the arts here in the time capsule.
Roll it out for them. Roll it out.
You know.
I love that. And now you blessed the Indie High stage like we stated earlier, and you thank you. Killed it.
Yes,
appreciate it.
Like you brought the energy, you brought the vibes. I mean, literally the lights were dim.
Yes.
I mean, but you were in the zone and you were just going. And that like inspiration, like what drives you to just bless the stage? Like, is that like your natural talent, or is it more like you just like practice, get it there?
You know, my girl, she calls me a big ball of energy. She says, you know, you're just like a big ball of energy. And I kind of just feel like if it wasn't the stage, it'd be something else. But I got to get that energy out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if I was making sandwiches, I'm going to be making it. You know what I mean?
I'm
I'm
going
going
to be
cooking them sandwiches. You know what I mean? It don't really matter.
Best sandwich ever.
No.
I just got that energy. So, you know, when I get that opportunity to be in front of people, then, you know, the crowd, that energy kind of feeds back and you kind of get a call and response to the people like, oh man, he's going crazy. And I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go crazier now. So, you know, I got to get that energy out.
I love that. But that's a true creative for you. You know what I'm saying? If you don't get it out in some way, shape, or form, you might go a little crazy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's real.
No, for real. But we do it like Donna said, you killed it. And
appreciate it.
Per our conversation that evening, you know, I kind of asked you a couple questions about how'd you get started in the industry, how long you've been in the industry. So give the people a backstory about
a little bit of
music.
history.
Yes,
I kind of love my story. I'll tell a few little tidbits about it. You know, in back in the days in the 90s, I'm a 90s kid.
Okay.
Here
we go.
80s
kids
baby.
here.
Okay.
80s babies all the way around.
I was fortunate enough that, you know, my stepfather had one of the, you know, more popular mom and pop record stores in Detroit.
Okay.
That's dope.
So, you know, on the east side, 7 Mile Sound Effects, if you remember, we had 2 locations. And I used to be in there, you know what I mean, learning the words to all kinds of stuff I wasn't
That's
supposed
dope.
to be
So
learning.
you grew
know
up
what I
in
mean?
the music.
Okay?
Yeah. You grew up
And
in
then
the music.
I remember like when people like, I don't know if you remember like an artist named Boss in the 90s or like DJ Pooh. People who were in that chitlin circuit, they used to stop by my stepdad's record store.
Okay.
You know what I mean, on their little press run, so they'll come with posters and tapes. So I used to be the recipient of a lot of like promotional.
You got the good stuff.
You know what I mean?
You got the good stuff.
I had the Master P I'm Bout It movie.
Ooh,
in the 6th grade when I wasn't supposed to. I had Dr. Dre, all kind of stuff, man. So like I grew up really close to the music, and it was just always a thing for me. You know, my aunt, she used to have cassette tapes in a shoebox under the bed. And I discovered that and was like, oh man, should I start?
Man.
So, you know, it goes back with me. You know, as I got a little older, I pursued the arts. I went to performing arts school in Detroit. I went to a school called DSA, It's the same school Aaliyah went to. God bless her.
Nice.
Wow, that's lit.
That is.
And then when I moved to DC in 10th grade, I went to a school called Duke Ellington. If you go to Netflix right now, you can see a lot of stuff about Duke Ellington. Dave Chappelle went there.
Okay.
He just dropped a lot of bread, and they just renovated a whole bunch of stuff. But that was my high school. I went there. I majored in theater.
Nice.
And minored in writing. So, I've always considered myself a writer. Sometimes it's getting to the point like where I don't like to tell people I'm a rapper. I just like to say I'm a writer because that's how serious I take it.
I love it.
So, I went to art school, was trained in the arts, mostly theater, never in the rap. That was just always something that I just gravitated to. And after high school, I pursued it. I ended up connecting with Jazzy Jeff at a time. And he and I ran together for years. He produced the album for me. It may never see the light of day, or it may, who knows? But we did that. And, I've just always been around great people. God's blessed me to be around great people and talented people. And I just been able to, seek tutelage from really, really dope people and be inspired by other dope people. And, I am what I am. But I aspire to be the best. I aspire to be the dopest at whatever I do, especially this music thing. I like to come in, like take over. When I'm on that stage, as you say, with that energy, I want to make sure. I want to make sure I'm remembered when I'm. When I'm done.
Stage presence.
Okay. So. The stage presence is there. Like you killed that. And I love that your background is just, we always talk about this, it's so symbolic of
absolutely
where you are now.
Your journey, right?
But just being around music, being around those records, being around those artists, those people, seeing them come
so early, right?
Finding those cassettes, like just being able to tap in. But it's like, it's literally, you could tell it's in your veins. You could just tell, like you have that energy with you. And it's definitely a great talent. And how did you kind of form like the style that you have? Because it's not like the average Joe out there. So how did you like form your style?
I've always I grew up in what I would consider to be the golden era. Some people may disagree with that, but when I was a kid, that was the prime of Wu-Tang. When I was a kid, that was Biggie and Tupac. It was Nas and all the what did somebody call them? They called them the I'm gonna say legendary acts, but somebody had a different term that I like. But like I grew up on that time, so
we grew up in a really I had posted a quote the other day. We grew up in the best time to be a kid and the worst time to be an adult.
That's true.
But
that's crazy,
isn't it?
I also believe this is a sidebar. I feel like we was the last kids to play outside in the 90s too.
I agree.
I make my kids play outside.
I agree with that.
Right.
I make my kids play outside.
But you ain't have to make us. You ain't have to make us. But
Hey.
I was happy to be outside.
Man. Happy.
It was like our job.
Begging.
It was our job. We wake up, go outside, come back when the sun sets.
Exactly. Before them lights come on.
Okay.
But to answer the question, that time, it was just a pivotal time, man. I mean, hip hop, when I was born, it was still being realized what could be made out of it, like as far as capital. It was still turning into a business. It wasn't even the biggest business in the world, but in that time, that golden era, we watched it become the biggest business in the world, and who wasn't impacted by it? I mean, I think the reason the three of us are even sitting here is because of the boom that the hip hop and the media and everything had in our youth. So, the same impact that it had on me is the same impact that it had on you and people that are watching. So even my man Luce over here, who's running the cameras and everything, I'm sure the hip hop media and everything is what got him to this point. So the proof is in the pudding. We all inspired by that time.
And it's making its way back around.
And it's making its way back around.
Crazy.
I love that. That's my favorite thing.
Me too.
It's making its way back around. Like shout out to all the the young aspiring hip hop heads. Just everybody that's coming up in the time now. It's crazy because I remember when the Alchemist first really had a hit record on the radio, which was that was Jadakiss song "We Gonna Make It," and I remember hearing that. I remember hearing that beat riding home from school one day, and I needed that. And I listened that I remember listening to it on the radio for the first time. But now it's like Alchemist is like the go-to guy now for a lot of up-and-coming guys, and just that sound. A lot of up-and-coming producers have adapted that sound. And, you know, I was trying to tell people that was the sound 15, 20 years ago, like on everything. I really was. And it's funny now, guys is coming to me like, yo, can you make me beats with no drums? I'm like, yeah, I've been doing that. I've been doing that since been doing that. But all right, we can do that some more.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Let's get it.
It's definitely come back around, and it's benefiting guys like me and people that I know in my circle for sure. So.
Absolutely. And I was gonna kind of piggyback off of what Donna was saying about, you know, what has influenced your sound, because listening to your current album, I could see the influences, you know, because I thought you were from New York. Listening to the album, I got a nostalgia feel of back in the day hip hop New York. Thank you.
That's a compliment. That's Mecca.
But you're from Detroit.
But I'm from Detroit.
But I mean, it's still up north, you know, but different coast. But still, that was the feel that I got. It gave me that nostalgic feeling. So,
I appreciate that.
Yeah, but like, how do you get? I know you said you were influenced from the old heads, but how do you tap into your unique sound?
Honestly, man, like, okay, I remember, you know, because I didn't always make my own beats. I produce all of my own stuff these days for the most part. I didn't always. Dope too. Thank you. I didn't always do that.
One man shop.
But it got to a point where like everybody was like kind of rapping over the same type beats. Like everybody was getting tight beats, and I was like, I'm in this lane. I'm over here, and you know, for me, I grab life by the horns. I'm not gonna wait for somebody to make something for me. I'm just gonna learn how to make it myself or how to do it myself.
That part.
I stand on that. So, you know, I started producing for myself, and I was like, I can't afford a Swiss beat. I bet you I can make one. I can't afford a Kanye beat or a DJ Premier beat.
We're gonna figure it out,
but
though.
I bet you I can make one. And that's what kind of defined my style. So, like, now my style is just basically like the guys who inspired me. So with that album specifically, now that you bring that up, what inspired that sound on that album? I wanted to take it back to like 03, 05 and bring the soul samples back. I wanted to make soul samples great again. So it's like, you know, it was for that it was really about bringing the soul back, because for me, I feel like radio, that's the number one thing radio was missing. Like if I could change any one thing about the radio, it would just be adding some soul back into it.
I agree.
And then that would give all the other things that we could ever possibly want back from the radio. Just give us some soul, and everything else would come from that.
I agree.
So I wanted to bring soul back to the raps, and Kanye being one of my biggest influences production wise. Like I love his beats. I love, you know, he's my favorite producer. I'm not even gonna say he's the best hip hop producer of all time, but he's definitely my favorite and the guy who influenced my sound, and even wanting to make beats and believing in myself that I could make beats, it was because of somebody like him. So, you know, with this album, I was definitely thinking college dropout. Like I was like college dropout, but I want to rap my ass off too, and you know, that's and bringing it together. And this wasn't an album. I've made a lot of projects where usually I give myself a month and I cut it off. This project I've worked on for years. Like,
oh wow,
I got a song from 07 on here.
Oh wow.
But when music is great, it stands the test of time.
Hey,
I got songs from
music
2017. I got songs on here from last year. And this is the album that I feel like I've been waiting to make my whole life, and that's why I just been setting trinkets aside for years for it. And I put out projects.
Is long, so I can see that.
Yeah. It was 2 years ago. It was like 30-something songs, and I just been
cut it down.
I just been cutting it down and fine tuning, and now we're here. So
I love it.
No, the music is rocking. Like even in the car, like I'm jamming. I'm like, okay, yeah. He's bringing it, like it's one thing you know you experience it live and you experience it on radio. Sometimes that's two different experiences. Exactly. But I'm like, he brings the exact same
energy.
Yeah, like as the studio. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
so I'm just like, wow. Like the studio and live, it's the same energy, it's the same vibe. But you're killing it. I love your vibes. I love your energy.
Thank you.
Keep walking on your path. And I love that. I feel like you're strong-headed in a good way. Because
you know what you want.
That's what I'm saying.
You know exactly the path you want to go.
Exactly.
That's accurate. That's very accurate.
That's very accurate.
I gotta say.
Now, with that being said, say there's someone who they admire what you're doing, how you're doing it, but they're a little bit more shy. You know, that may not be their natural instinct to be like, I'm bold enough to just do this and do that. What advice would you have for them?
It's a good one.
I mean, you know, it's not for everybody, to be honest. And this is the type of thing that you got to love enough to do, to jump out there and look a goddamn fool no matter what. And it's a beast. And you know, I've been at it for a long time, and maybe it's a reason I never crossed into that demographic. And you know, I'm kind of thankful for that, because I'm already chaotic enough. I don't need the extra chaos. But somebody who really loves it, I would say hone your skills in your room, right? Do that for some time, then start letting your loved ones and people you know see it. If you got kids, perform in front of the kids. They'll let you know if it's hot.
Oh, that's sure.
You know what I mean?
And then tell you no lies.
At that point, if you're ready to expand and do some open mic stuff, sure. Maybe you don't want to do live videos on Instagram and get criticized in the comments and stuff like that. That's fair, but it's coming. So you can't run from it, but you can prolong it. But go to some open mics. Open mics are always nice, man. I hone my skills being in front of people at open mics for sure. I owe open mics a lot of credit. So, you know, start in the bedroom, end up in the open mic, and if you're feeling more confident, keep going. But you gotta love it first. If you gotta force yourself to do it, it may not be for you. I don't think it's for everybody.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna sit here and tell you it's for everybody.
Right.
You know.
If it's not flowing naturally, then it might not be for you.
Might not be for you. And I love that you mentioned earlier how you have a goal to like have your own museum. Like this is, I love asking people like, how do you want to be remembered? Like as a legend, and like, you know, in the future, like how do you, like, what legacy do you want to leave behind?
I want to be the best. I want to be the best, like, respectfully. Like, I don't care who's in the room. Like, I believe in collaboration. I'm actually eager to collaborate more because I've been cooking up in private for a long time. But just know I'm coming with my best.
Every time.
So I want to be remembered as a legend. Like, I want to knock off a couple of your Mount Rushmores. I want to be up there. I don't got to be number one. I take 3. But you know what though? I'm on some shit where I feel like, can we curse on here? That's my first one. That's my first one. I've been counting.
Look, most people ask before, like
way before, but it's okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was actually trying not to curse.
Free range.
But you know, like if I ever got an opportunity to be on a track with Jay-Z or Eminem or, you know, who you deem the best, like I want to hold my own against them. Like, you know, if Biggie was here today, I want to hold my own against him. If Andre 3000 was in the room with me, I want to make people to say, I like his verse a little more than Andre 3000 actually. And that's where I'm coming from, on some respectful shit though. Like, I want to be the best. And that's what I want people to take away when they listen to my album. Like, this kid might be.
Absolutely.
You know?
Oh yeah, you never said the name of your album.
Feel of the Future Part 3.
Part
Period.
3.
Part 3.
Now, what's your favorite track off the album? Do you have a favorite? Like what?
The very first track. That's why I made it the first track. It's called Illuminati. It's a play on my name and the Illuminati. I'm not that clever. That's my favorite song by far. It just, I don't know. It's a very dark song, but also somewhat not too serious. And I just feel like I'm rapping my ass off in that shit, and I love that beat. So, you know, that's my favorite song on that album. But they're all my babies, though. Like,
right. I know you said you pulled it from a lot. You've been working on it for years, so
if we went through it, I'll probably say that about another song, 2 or 3 more times. But yeah, I made the first song for a reason. Absolutely.
What does your creative process look like? Like, do you sit in the room, write, listen to beats? How does that work for you?
I usually make the beat first. I listen to some old records from wherever they may be. The more obscure, the better, because I don't want nobody to know what I sampled. But not because I don't want you to know. It's more so that I want to make sure it's as close to mine as possible. I don't want somebody else to make the same record or anything close to it. So I listen to some records, find something I like. Usually My favorite part about being a rapper and making beats is like I know exactly what I want to rap to. Like I've been in the studio with other producers and they'll do something and I'm like, oh, I love that. But they didn't love that, so they'll keep going.
Right.
And, I get to harness and create exactly what I want. So make a beat, write a rap, lay it down, move on. It don't really, it's not that deep. Sorry if I underwhelmed you.
Period.
Hey.
The suspense
it's
may.
As simple as that. Okay.
And you move on and you make another one. And then you move on and you make another one. And you just keep going.
It pushing.
Sound like some consistency to me.
Consistency.
Yeah. But don't get it twisted though. Like sometimes it may take me an hour to write a verse.
Right.
Sometimes it may take me 2 weeks to write a verse. It really just depends on where I'm at in life and what I'm inspired by in that
moment.
But if it feels like work, I won't do it.
Ooh.
If it starts to feel like work, I just won't do it.
That's
so
point.
Sometimes the song writes itself, and those are the best ones.
That's true.
I done sat down and wrote a whole song in a couple hours or less. But I like to take my time. I feel like all of the culture of like going in the studio and making 45 songs in a night, like that shit is trash.
Ooh.
I'm sorry, like that's my least favorite process because you're not really. You could stumble on something like that. You could stumble across something, but you more than likely to come across something that's going to stand the test of time if you take your time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you could listen to my album, you don't know where my songs are from. Right. And that's by design, They may sound a little retro, that's fair, but you don't know when I made it. You know what I mean? It don't sound like 07. Unless I want it to, right? Like I can design it to sound like 07, but I made it in 18, so you don't know.
You will never know.
You'll never know.
You'll never know.
I love it.
So yeah, my creative process is very basic, man. Sample.
Right, to each his own.
Sample, drums, raps.
Boom.
Graffiti, break dance. Holla at me.
There it is.
Holla at me.
The track is laid.
It's done.
I got a question. So would you rather stay as an independent artist or take a major record label deal?
They still giving out those?
I feel like, nowadays it's more beneficial to be independent, but,
Me, if I got an opportunity to sign with a major right now, I'm going to take it because I'm highly marketable. I feel like I could be on the radio. I could be in the poetry club. I could be at the World Cup. I could be in Home Alone 7. Like, fuck with me. I need to be on somebody's TV.
Hello?
I need to be in somebody's Walmart. I need to be all over the place. So, yeah, me personally, I'm taking the major deal because I'm a major deal.
Yeah.
Phil Nash, Phil of the Future Part 3.
Period.
Comic book coming with it, too. I need to show y'all some of that.
I can tell by the cover.
The cover is
Yeah, the cover art, I was like...
So I have a comic book that's coming out. Shout out to my man Shane out there in Washington State. He's hand drawn it, no AI.
Oh wow.
We supporting the arts here.
Absolutely.
Okay.
He's hand drawn it, and it's going to actually be a prelude to the cover. So the cover is me versus me. It's an old version of me with long hair, and then if you see the first 2 mixtapes, you'll see young versions of me also animated. So I'm fighting the younger version of me from the other mixtape on the cover, and the comic book is actually going to tell the story of how we even got to this point of me traveling the multiverse.
Come on.
Nice.
Come
on.
on.
Creativity.
Yeah. So
Come on. I
don't
that.
I don't even know why I went down that lane, but
That's good. You came on the show to talk about
it. I came on the show to talk about it. Yeah.
No, you were showing how you are a major deal.
I'm a major deal. So yeah, we trying to cross over and get published as well. So yeah, I would definitely take a major deal though. For sure.
I mean, hey. Yeah, if it was on the table for me as well.
I mean, we know
what use you like you're using me.
We know the type of things we got to negotiate. Now, would a major label really want to deal with somebody like me? Because I feel like because they really rather deal with somebody who's not gonna read that contract.
Phil Nash, nah.
Yeah, exactly. Don't that sound smart? Like,
come on, that first year they're gonna be like, you know what? Hey, you can take that. And we'll just exit stage left.
I'm taking the major deal.
Just because I know you would want creative control of everything.
Absolutely. And if that's not negotiable, then I don't know if I can take the major deal. But if they're going to comply to some of the things, we can meet in the middle.
Absolutely.
But if we could work together, let me get that major. I pay y'all back.
I feel like your talent is big enough that they will want to do some negotiating. Right. You know what I'm saying? They gonna want to
negotiate. Look
okay, they want to negotiate with you.
You know, in the pudding.
You can make some demands. You know,
just a couple. I don't ask for a lot. I'm very humble. I don't need a whole lot, man. You know,
I love it.
I love it. And so like, how can people check out your project and like check out your music and all that good stuff?
Well, I'm all platforms. Whatever platform you listen to music on, I'm there. So the album's not out yet. It'll be out May 27th next month. I'm looking forward to selling physical copies. I'm going to get vinyl and everything pressed
please.
up.
And I
think this album is very vinyl worthy.
Why don't people do that anymore?
I don't know.
Maybe
That a thing?
Some people are starting to do the vinyl.
It's coming back.
It's coming back, but when did it stop?
I don't know.
When people prioritize making singles over making albums. People ain't pressing up singles on vinyl.
You got that.
You know what I mean? Those are here today, gone tomorrow.
You're right.
So
that's true.
It's that buzz, that one hit.
Yeah.
I'm
trying to make albums cool again, though. Like,
I love it.
When I listen to music, and when most people listen to music in the car, we listen to it on shuffle. I listen to it on shuffle now because I just got with the program. But I love listening to an album
straight through.
Me too.
Top to bottom, because that's why I'm invested in it in the first place. Right. I don't even want to listen if you only got one song.
I'm telling you.
You only got one song? This nigga's making 45 songs in a night. You only got one song? But
one song?
You know what I mean? So I want to make
that's real.
Top to bottom,
I love
albums
an album
cool
where
again,
I can
man.
listen
For real.
to it straight through.
Skits, and y'all don't have the final version. Y'all don't have the final version of the album. I got my DJ Dub Floyd right now. He's still gluing some things together. I send him a bunch of magic to sprinkle throughout the album. If you listen to my projects, you'll listen to how they're glued together. Listen to A La Carte Part 3. A La Carte Part 3 is glued together. It sounds like I tried to make a time capsule. If you never visited Earth and you came across this thing, right? And it's like, it's just this culture.
I like that.
Just culture. So,
Here you go.
So it's going to be another version when it's actually released.
Okay.
From what you heard, for sure.
Okay. So we know when we have music artists on, usually at the end of the show, we'll get into like whatever track they want to get into. And we're going to make sure we play it at the end and get a reaction video while we're playing it and stuff like that. So with that being said, because I know you said it, I was not out yet.
Not out yet.
Not out yet.
But
soon.
I didn't know if you wanted to.
If you had.
But if you want to, we can do that.
Play a record? Yeah, we gotta play a record if you're gonna ask me. Like, what?
Okay.
But what song?
Yeah, what song would it be?
We had a request.
Lucky me.
I gotta go by the MD High request. Like, get the people what they want.
Get the people what they want.
Lucky me.
Okay, cool. So we'll get into Lucky Me at the end. All right, by Phil Nash, and then
featuring my cousin. I got closer. Featuring my cousin Cartier Day from Fat Kid's brother in 2-9. That's my guy. He's on the track too.
Okay, period. And we'll get into that. We're gonna let you introduce it at the end. So now, how can people follow you? And then we're gonna get into how people can follow us, and then we'll go into the song.
Oh yeah, for sure. Please make sure you hit me up on Instagram, Future Phil Nash. Nash like the basketball player, Future like what's to come, and Phil like me. Please feel me.
Come on,
I like that
the spill.
I like that.
That's off the top. That's off the top, baby. I ain't right there.
I ain't got nothing smooth like that, but
yo. And definitely hit me up on the YouTube too. YouTube Phil Nash. YouTube and IG, you got me.
Yeah.
Oh, but also, I guess if you want to really support Bandcamp, you can hit me up on the Bandcamp too. That's where you can purchase my entire discography. I got over at least 10 projects on there, from beat tapes to albums and mixtapes from the past and stuff I used to do, Jazzy Jeff stuff, and you know what I mean?
Nice.
So, Bandcamp, you could get my discography.
Love it.
Discography's a flex.
Okay. I love it. No, I ain't as smooth as Mr. Phil over here. But y'all know where to follow us on IG. Indie High Radio. Radio spelled R8DIO. Also on Twitter, same spelling. Hit us up on Facebook, Indie High Radio LLC. Like the page, share the page. Share it to the masses. And one-stop shop, our www.indiehighradio.com. You can get the podcast, Indie High gear, event tickets for Indie High Saturdays, all of that.
All that.
And make sure to subscribe to Indie High Radio on all platforms that host podcasts. That's Apple Music, that's Spotify. What else we got?
All that.
Google Play.
There we go. For the Androids.
Yes.
We still love you. But
all that.
But make sure to give us 5 stars, please, and tell a friend to tell a friend. And we appreciate you guys so much for tuning in with us. Thank you so much, Phil.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, yes.
We appreciate you so much.
Hey. So, we love when people say that.
This is my first month.
Love it.
Well,
it's been a great experience. I recommend it.
Okay.
10 out of 10.
Please come on the show.
Highly recommend. Okay. Well, thank you so much for coming on. It was a pleasure to have you on Indie High Radio. This has been another great episode under the books. Make sure y'all check out Mr. Phil Nash. This is your girl Donna LJ signing out.
And it's your girl Digga.
Yo, what's up? This is Phil Nash. We're about to listen to Lucky Me off of my new album, Phil of the Future 3. Lucky Me, produced by Phil Nash, featuring Cartier Dave. Something, but I only got one leg. Trying to make an omelet, but I only got one egg. I put them all in one basket, then they broke. Now I'm crawling like catfish out of water, but I'm sharp as a tack. I looked the devil right in his eye, but didn't blink though. It's a cold world outside, button my peacoat. Niggas try counting me out and get an ounce of sleep. About to bounce back on my feet. I got mouths to feed. Niggas been sleeping like counting sheep. I'm down the street. You act like my goals is out of reach. 100 miles and running, my palms itching. 100,000 coming. Stay on the ground, cause my owls is hunting. You bitch cowards get hit with the 6 hour. I'm about to blow up on these niggas like Twin Towers. If everybody on your team got each other covered, nobody will fall cause everyone will beat each other's crutches. If you feel it, please. I know you feeling me. Spit this flow from the soul. Swear to God I ain't alone on this road. If you feel it, please. I know you feeling me. If you don't fuck with your cards, it don't matter, it's the luck of the draw.
Smoking horchata, I'm up like floor is lava. All I buy is fly shit, nickname him helicopter. Dread my head like bosses, only dealing real. Got rid of all imposters, gotta keep it still. Cause niggas out here wildin', them perkins got them nodding. A junkie and designer, perfect lick, I'm being honest. I seen it all before, niggas tripping off the dough. Lost it all, now they do anything to stay afloat. While I'm on the coast, blowing Cubans with my folks. Gotta give a toast, I ain't never did the most. I just hustle like the reverend, and then I count my blessings and get tired from the lessons learned. Hey, the real life confessions burn. Hey, but they usher in perspective to find a silver liner like a jewel thief detective on a nigga who's suspected. Take heed to directions like I'm holding Smith and Wesson's yelling.
If you feel it, please. I know you feeling me. Spit this flow from the soul. Swear to God I ain't alone on this road. If you feel it, please. I know you feeling me. If you don't fuck with your cards, it don't matter, it's the luck of the draw. By me, you know what I mean?
Period.